Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on a demanding heavy transportation project. We're moving a massive rotor blade from the main storage yard all the way up to Black Peak Mountain, where a huge wind farm is currently under construction. We'll talk more about the wind farm project a bit later, but first, let's take a closer look at the truck that's going to be hauling this massive load. Yep, as you can see, the MAN TGX 41.540 will do the job. This is a heavy-duty truck built for extreme and oversized transport. High pulling power and a tough, no-nonsense design made for hard work. This workhorse is powered by the MAN D2676, a 12.4-liter six-cylinder diesel engine, putting out 540 horsepower and about 2,500 newton-meters of torque. That's roughly 1,840 pounds-feet. All of that is nicely paired with a ZF 12-speed automatic transmission, where the first three gears are low hydro gears, basically heavy-duty low ranges for starting and pulling under heavy load, and it runs an 8x4 axle configuration. That setup allows it to handle loads anywhere from about 160 up to 250 tons, depending on the job. The truck itself weighs around 13 tons, or roughly 28,600 pounds, depending on the equipment and configuration. To fill it up, you'll need more than 900 liters of fuel. That's about 238 gallons. And even with all that weight, this truck can still reach a top speed of around 90 kilometers per hour, or about 56 miles per hour. All right, traffic police are here. We'll need an escort because of heavy traffic congestion, especially around the roundabouts. Now that everything's ready, let's roll out. You've probably noticed these yellow steel blocks on the truck and the trailer. Well, those are demag counterweights. We've got 8 of them in total, each one weighing 10 metric tons, or about 22,046 pounds. That puts the total counterweight at 80 metric tons, roughly 176,000 pounds. Most of that weight is concentrated on the trailer, which makes perfect sense. And since we're already talking about the trailer, let's break it down a bit. This is a Goldhofer trailer, premium, German-engineered heavy-duty equipment built for oversized and extreme loads. These trailers are designed to handle everything from 40 tons to well over 10,000 tons, depending on the setup. They come with advanced hydraulic suspension, modular configurations, and steerable axles, all focused on stability, maneuverability, and proper load distribution. This one is equipped with a special adapter made specifically for massive wind turbine rotor blades. Thanks to its powerful hydraulics, the adapter can easily lift and lower this huge blade, which weighs around 28 metric tons, or roughly 61,700 pounds. Here you can see how the steerable hydraulic suspension works. This system provides up to 55 degrees of steering, giving the operator serious control in tight spaces and corners. The trailer has a total of 24 axles, and each axle runs 8 wheels, which adds up to 96 wheels in total. Power for the trailer comes from a generator mounted in front of the adapter. That generator is driven by a small Kohler diesel engine, producing 35 horsepower, located at the very rear of the trailer. All the steering controls and gauges are also positioned back there at the rear, and you'll see that setup in just a moment. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is that small Kohler engine that powers the whole thing. This is where the entire operation happens. The driver in the truck is basically just pulling it all. But the real brain of the operation is the guy back here controlling the trailer. The only downside of this job is that you're on your feet all the time, and there's a lot of walking involved, sometimes tens of kilometers. Honestly, they should come up with some kind of platform where the operator can stand while controlling the trailer. All right, we've rolled out from the main storage yard, which is right here. We're now on the main road, heading straight toward the first roundabout, the first major intersection. This is where traffic congestion is expected, so traffic police will block the entire intersection. And from there, we'll take the first exit, basically staying straight, and continue all the way to the second roundabout, which is right there. Traffic is going to be even heavier there, so the police will shut that intersection down as well. Here, we're making a left turn and taking the third exit. And from there, it's straight ahead all the way to my final filming destination, which is Brestovac Spa. Like I said, my filming ends right here, at this intersection. From here, they'll keep going for another 20 kilometers or so. As for the route itself, from the storage yard to this point, it's about 8.4 kilometers, which is roughly 5.2 miles. By car, it usually takes around 12 minutes without traffic. But since this is a heavy haulage mission, we're basically moving on foot, and it takes about 2 hours to cover this distance. 2 hours of walking is no joke, but considering we stop every 20 minutes because of traffic, logistics, and everything else going on, it's actually manageable. When it comes to the company in charge of this heavy haulage mission, we're talking about Bora Kečić, a leader in oversized transport here in Serbia. Founded all the way back in 1948, they've been pushing the limits of what's possible for decades, taking on and solving some of the toughest transport challenges out there. The company is based in Železnik, a suburb of Belgrade, operating on an area of about 646,000 square feet. With around 160 employees, about 80% of them production workers like drivers, crane operators, and mechanics, they consistently handle the most demanding transport jobs, such as massive mining machines, huge wind farm components, and large bridge structures, all made possible thanks to the knowledge and experience they've built up over decades of hard work. And here you can really see just how huge this thing actually is. And here we are at the first roundabout I mentioned earlier. As you can see, it's total chaos at the intersection. Drivers are getting nervous. They've already been waiting for about 10 minutes for the convoy to pass. But that's just how it goes. When the police say traffic has to stop, well, it has to stop. We're not turning anywhere here. We're taking the first exit and basically heading straight toward the second roundabout, where even bigger chaos is waiting for us. This rock you see in the middle of the roundabout is a big chunk of copper ore, and there are plenty of them displayed around the city, some even bigger than this one. Well, after all, this is a mining city.
Da dođe ovdje, da pustimo se sve raščisti.
We're slowly moving toward the second intersection. The good thing is we're driving on the outskirts of the city, where there aren't many obstacles. keep this entire massive load perfectly level, you need a lot of experience and real skills. That's exactly what this company is all about. Experience and a good team atmosphere are the top priority. And here we are at the second roundabout. We'll turn left here and take the third exit. So let's see how this turns out. Another symbol of the city, a bronze miner carrying a drill on his shoulder. We're slowly taking the third exit and heading toward Brestovac Spa. With stops along the way, it should take us about 3 hours to get there. Power lines were a real challenge, but with the adapter's powerful hydraulics, we can easily lower and raise the load whenever needed, just like you see right now. And finally, we've arrived in Brestovac Spa. I skipped most of the route and drove to this point, but the rest of the crew walked all the way here. And from here on, they'll continue on foot. We've also reached the most demanding turn on the route, so let's see how they're going to handle it. The driver has to be very careful at this spot. If he goes too far to the left, the snow could pull him over the edge. So far, so good. The driver knows exactly what he's doing, and the operator in the back has full control of the trailer. Now, I told you at the beginning of the video that we'd talk a bit more about the Black Peak project, so let's get into it. The Black Peak Wind Power Project is a major onshore renewable energy development in eastern Serbia, located near the city of Bor. With a total installed capacity of 150 megawatts, this wind farm is set to become one of the flagship renewable energy projects in the country. The project will feature 25 onshore wind turbines, supplied by Mingyang Smart Energy, each rated at 6.25 megawatts and mounted on towers standing about 115 meters tall, which is roughly 377 feet. The rotor blades themselves measure around 85 meters in length. That's about 279 feet, and each blade weighs around 28 metric tons, or roughly 61,700 pounds. The turbines are designed to operate in average wind speeds of around 7.4 meters per second. The wind farm is expected to generate approximately 465 gigawatt hours of electricity per year, enough to power more than 100,000 Serbian households. Basic construction works officially began in 2023, with full commercial operations currently targeted for 2027. We'll see whether those deadlines hold or if delays show up along the way. Working in terrain this demanding is extremely complex, requiring precise planning and execution just to keep everything safe, while also providing valuable experience for future mountain wind power projects in Serbia. The Black Peak project is being developed with international partners, including Chinese companies, and represents a state-of-the-art, low-carbon wind park built in some of the most challenging mountainous terrain in eastern Serbia. Areas chosen specifically for their strong and consistent wind conditions. Engineering oversight for the project is being handled by Clarion Partners' owner's engineer, which was appointed as the owner's engineer for the EPC delivery of the 150 megawatt wind park. Clarion is responsible for technical supervision throughout the project, ensuring engineering, procurement, and construction are carried out in line with project requirements and international standards. Once completed, Black Peak is expected to significantly reduce Serbia's carbon footprint, strengthen the country's renewable energy mix, and support long-term, sustainable electricity production through dedicated transmission infrastructure. Here, we ran into a narrow space with obstacles on both sides. trees to be exact. You can see how the operator slowly lifts the load higher and higher to clear the trees and make it through safely. I must say that this entire operation went down without a single incident or scratch, which is huge for the project and for the confidence of the whole crew. Well guys, this spot right here is my final filming destination. These guys will keep moving on, and for us, this journey is slowly coming to an end. And if you enjoyed this journey, you know what to do. Yeah, that's right. Likes and subs are always welcome. That's how you motivate us to keep pushing forward with projects like this in the future. Until the next one, stay safe out there.